Welcome to Barnstable Today. I'm Nick Cortez. A new culinary school could be coming to downtown Hyannis, and the planning board last night entertained that possibility during a public hearing at its first meeting of the new year. Developer Chad Doe, who's responsible for several successful commercial building projects in downtown Hyannis, wants to add the school to the first floor of another one of his properties at 89 Lewis Bay Road, the former site of the Greenery Nursing Home. Hosting the new school would require a modification of the regulatory agreement currently in place for the property, which is also slated to contain several condo units and medical office space. Here, attorney David Lawler, who represents Doe, provides the planning board with more detail about the proposed school.
And what we are looking for with the applicant is not to bring in some fly-by-night culinary school or some creation of somebody. This is a culinary school that's been was founded in 1974 by Roberta Dowling, the principal. It's fully accredited. It's going to have both professional and the recreational, or if approved, the fun and the recreational classes for the average. I know I've met Roberta. I'm not sure she could teach me how to cook, but I think some of the people with a little bit. Certainly, I can use the knife and the fork, though. But all kidding aside, this is a professional school for the training of individuals who intend to make their living as chefs, sous chefs, and in the food industry, and at the same time, the collateral use of having the ability for the average layperson to come in and take specific courses, whether it's desserts or main course or whatever is being offered by the school. And they intend to have the 3 kitchens as discussed before, 3 commercial kitchens. And we believe that the jobs created and the good thing about this school is this is not a retention. This is a creation. This is a school that's located in Cambridge, who's opening up a satellite office on Cape Cod. So these will be new jobs on Cape Cod for, and these are teaching jobs. These aren't minimum wage jobs. I mean, there's going to be a solid commercial application for the culinary arts and then the recreational arts of the culinary recreational arts.
No planning board member seemed averse to modifying the regulatory agreement to include the culinary school as an allowed use. The story was very different, however, in regard to Mr. Doe's second modification request. The regulatory agreement for 89 Lewis Bay Road requires Doe to pay over $430,000 in mitigation fees for various infrastructure upgrades around the property, which Doe is asking the town to waive. Attorney Lawler attempted to justify the request on the grounds that the local economy isn't what it was when the agreement was put in place, and that Doe's investments in downtown Hyannis have already made a significant positive impact on the town.
And he hopes to continue this partnership. When he came to the town, he enjoys the development. He likes working with growth management, with Joanne, with the town manager, with the town attorney. He enjoys building in Hyannis, but believes that he wants to continue to go with future projects. I talked to him before about projects on the harbor and projects potentially dealing with some of the social issues in this town, but he fervently believes that as part of this partnership, the town needs to come and to the realization that things have changed, that this long-term recession has resulted in the fact that maybe the way of doing business in 2007 no longer exists, and the way of doing business in 2011 is to allow for businesses to thrive and to give them a chance and to create revenue, not from mitigation purposes as in this case, but through increased property values, increased jobs, increased tax revenue, and then the harder to define benefit of a revitalized neighborhood. Again, the 500 block, he did it, the neighbor put hundreds of thousands of dollars into their building. Center Street, same thing. And I bet you that North Street, that those buildings in that particular area will start to pop this summer or sooner thereafter because of what he did to the Verizon building. And that's the basis for the request to eliminate the mitigation. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's not a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But at the same time, the long-term benefit of continuing a partnership and this relationship is a lot more money, and it's good business. And it's good business for the town. So we are seeking, and I'm on behalf of my client, seeking the elimination of the mitigation, as defined as read by Mr. Curley, the total being approximately $432,000, I think $430.
Planning Board member Felicia Penn's response to Doe's request was largely representative of what the body felt about it as a whole: uncomfortable.
Hard to say, but it's just amazing to me that you're asking for us to waive 100% of this money for this, and I'll tell you why I find that amazing. I just can't imagine what would motivate this board to think that we'd be acting in the best interest of the town to relieve the applicant for fulfilling this mitigation as by agreement. By being in the GIZ, which in and of itself saved the applicant a ton of time and money by not having to go to the commission. I mean, that's the whole purpose of the GIZ, is to streamline the building process and the permitting process. So that saved you time and money. We gave you 6 waivers: building height, density, parking, setbacks, fences, and signs. I just, you know, you say that times are different now. They certainly are, but you got all the benefits, and we're still sitting here holding the bag. Okay, you got the density, you got the height. Any place south of South Street you look up, it's the only building you see. You got the parking, you got the setbacks, you got everything that you asked for, willingly, knowingly, and encouragingly from this body. So my suggestion is, since the regulatory agreement does not have anything in it about a schedule for payment of the mitigation, is that we look to negotiate some sort of a payment schedule out for the next 10, 15 years, which might make it a lot more palatable, because I don't really even know when this was expected to be paid from reading this document. So if you're looking for some relief, I would think that we would be in a position to negotiate. You know, improvements within the layout of School Street in Hyannis, I think that was for sidewalks. It's $34,000. I mean, School Street, big residential area, needs really good sidewalks, doesn't have them right now. Water mains, you got 42 apartments in a culinary school and office space coming in. I mean, how can you expect us not to ask you to support those improvements in the street? And South Street, as you know, has a plan for improvements in the long term. And that was a negotiated contribution, I think, that you in the corner office probably came up with. But as far as the hardcore mitigation, I would think a schedule that was mutually agreed upon would have my support. Other than that, I wouldn't support any relief. Thank you, Mr. Lane.
In the end, the Planning Board needed more time to consider both regulatory agreement modifications for 89 Lewis Bay Road and continued the public hearing to its next meeting. Now, let's take a look at this week's meetings. On Tuesday, January 11th, the school committee meets in the Town Hall hearing room at 7 p.m. Also at 7, in the Shepley room of the Hyannis Youth and Community Center, there's a public meeting regarding the Burses Way Phase 3 improvement project. On Wednesday, January 12th, the Old Kings Highway Historic District Commission meets on Route 149 at the West Barnstable Community Building at 7 p.m. Well, that's all for now. I'm Nick Cortez, and we'll see you next time on Barnstable Today.